Hello students, I'm Anshu Batra, TGT English KV number 1 Itanagar, and today I'm with you with another beautiful poetry of Robert Frost, Fire and Ice. As in my previous videos, we have already discussed about two beautiful poems of Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken and Dust of Snow. And today, Fire and Ice is another beautiful poetry by Robert Frost, which looks compact or small, but it gives us great message. So, before we start the poem, let's discuss about the greatest poet who wrote this beautiful poem, Robert Frost, about whom we have already discussed in my previous two videos. He is such an ocean of knowledge about whom we cannot discuss in a single video. But let's try to get the smallest information about him. Robert Frost was born on March 26, 1864, and he died on January 29, 1963. Dear students, he was an American poet of 20th century, and he was known for his realistic depiction of rural life. He frequently wrote about settings from rural life in New England in the early 20th century, using them to explain complex and social and also philosophical themes. His famous poems were The Road Not Taken, Fire and Ice, A Patch of Old Snow. Dear students, his first poem was A Boy's Will. Now, dear students, let's move to this poem, which by appearance looks compact or small, but is full of knowledge. Before the explanation, let's recite the poem. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Dear students, let's see the gist or central idea of the poem. Fire and Ice is a compact poem written by Robert Frost. It expresses the profound idea that the world would end in either of two ways, by fire or by ice. People are divided in this issue. Some believe that fire will become the cause of the end, and others think that ice will end the world. Both the components are compared with self-destructing human motions, hatred and desire. He says that from what he is aware about fiery desires, he would favor the ones who say that it would be fire. But later, he says that ice or hatred created by cold reasoning is also equally capable of destroying the world. Therefore, if Earth was to end twice, ice would be just as good as fire. If fire would lead to rapid destruction, ice would lead to silent damage. Dear students, here fiery desire is characterized by intense emotion. If somebody is having too much of emotion, excess of emotions, that can be regarded as fiery desire. In this poem, poet has compared fire with desire, and he compared ice with hatred. Hatred means this is the emotion where a person hates somebody strongly. Dear students, by this poem, the poet has tried to tell us that this earth or this world can be destroyed by these two destructive emotions. Now let's see the explanation stanza wise. Stanza 1. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Dear students, the poem expresses the profound, which means deep idea that the world would end of two ways, either by ice or fire. One group is of the opinion, as written in the first stanza. In the beginning, it is written, no. Some say the world will end in fire. Here, poet says that one group is of the opinion that someday the earth's core will get so heated up that it would lead to fire, destroying the earth's surface. On the other hand, as we see the second line, the poet says, some say in ice. The poet wants to say here that the second group of people says that if the temperature goes down to an extent that makes life on earth impossible, it would have the same catastrophic effect. Catastrophic effect means the adverse effect, right? Or the effect which can be negative, right? It means in the first two lines, the poet tells about the various opinions of the people, where some people think that this world will be destroyed by fire, and some people think that this world will be destroyed by ice. The poet then compares fire and ice, as he says in third line of this stanza, from what I have tasted of desire. Here, the poet compares fire, and in the fourth line he says, I hold with those who favor fire. He says that he is in favor of the people who say that the earth will be destroyed by fire. So, here again I tell you that the poet compares fire and ice with the destructive features of human emotions. Destructive features, why? Because if we desire a lot, what is desire? The strong wish for getting something. If we desire something we have much expectation of something. And on the other hand, if we hate something a lot, both these emotions of human beings are destructive emotions which can destroy anything. Right? That's why here the poet has compared fire with desire. He says that from what he is aware about fiery desires, as I told you, fiery desires are the strong desires or the strong wish for getting something, right? So here, poet says that from what he is aware about fiery desires, means whatever he knows about the strong desires, he is sure that strong desires only can destroy this world. That's why he would favor the people who say that it would be fire that can destroy this world. By saying so, he brings about the idea that human beings let their emotions rule them, and the consequence, that means the result of unmonitored longing, is chaos. Chaos means disorder. This word suggests that everything is disturbed, destroyed, right? So, according to the poet, as told in stanza 1, he believes that fire or desire may destroy this earth. Now, let's see second stanza. In second stanza, the poet says, "But if I had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice." In these lines, the poet wants to say that ice may also destroy this earth or this world. The poet is not waving off the first option of fire. He considers if the world has to expire twice, it means what? The poet is not totally getting disagreed that fire may destroy this world. He still believes that fire may destroy the world. But according to second stanza, he equally believes that if the earth will be destroyed or if the world will be destroyed or finished two times, both the components, fire and ice, will be responsible for the destruction of world. Right? He believes that both are having equal intensity or equal power to destroy this world. Right? So in second stanza, he says that if the world has to expire twice or two times, ice would be equally competent in ending it. Means ice will be the competitor of fire. How the fire is able to destroy the earth? No. Ice is also able equally to destroy the earth. He brings about a contrast between ice and hatred. The human capability of insensitivity and hatred has the potential for inner destruction. Though slow and steady, it has the same effect that desire has on us. So, if given an option between fire and ice would be just as good as fire to destroy the world. So, by saying this phrase, as good as fire, the poet wants to say that how much the fire is able to destroy this world? No. Ice is also able to destroy in the same way. Right? And here he compares ice with hatred or strong hate. Right? You know very well, students, excess of anything is not good. You might be hearing this from childhood. So, the thing which we can learn from this poem is what? We should have a balanced emotions or balanced behavior. If we will have extreme desire or extreme expectations for getting something, no, everything will be finished there. Nothing will be left. You will destroy everything. That's why it is said that this world will be destroyed if each and every person will have extreme expectations or desires for getting something, or on the other hand, if the person is having hatred towards others. Everywhere bloodshed will be there, students, and this whole world will be destroyed. So you can see that though the poem looks extreme small or compact, a huge and great lesson the poem teaches us. It discusses about the human emotions, destructive human emotions, which can destroy this world. So, it teaches us that we should have the balanced behavior. Now, let's move to the technical parts of this poem, that are the poetic devices. We have already discussed what poetic devices are in our previous poem, Dust of Snow. So, let's see which is the first poetic device. The first poetic device is assonance. Dear students, assonance is the poetic device in which a vowel sound is repeated more than once. You can see the example. The long sound of O in hold and those. This is the example of assonance. The line is, I hold with those who favor fire. So here, hold and those words are having same long vowel sound O. The second poetic device is alliteration. Dear students, alliteration is the repetition of initial consonant sounds. Initial means in the beginning of any word. If consonant sound is repeated, then there is alliteration. See the example. F sound is repeated in favor and fire. Favor and fire both are having F sound in the beginning. That's why alliteration is there. Right? The line is, I hold with those who favor fire. So alliteration is in favor and fire. Third poetic device is imagery. Imagery is what? It makes readers perceive things involving their five senses. Where perceive means what? To notice or to realize. Right? So, when people read any line and if they start imagining the scene in front of them, their imagery is there. And which sense is affected? Sight sense. Right? And if suppose we hear any sound and the same sound is imagined by you everywhere, then your hearing senses are affected. In this device, you're able to create mental picture of anything. Example is, some say the world will end in fire. When we read this line, we start imagining how the fire is spread everywhere and is destroying everything, right? And the second example is to say that for destruction, ice is also great. And when we read about this, we just start watching the ice spread everywhere, right? That's why imagery is there. The fourth poetic device is symbolism. What is it? It is a use of symbols to signify ideas and qualities by giving them symbolic meanings different from their literal meanings. Right? Literal meanings what? Dear students, suppose any word is written and in the particular poem, that word is actually symbolizing some other idea. Then symbolism is there. Like in your poem, fire is the symbol of desires or strong wishes. Ice symbolizes hatred. Similarly, green and gold are the symbol of beauty and happiness. The fifth poetic device is anaphora. What is anaphora? Repetition of a word or expression in the beginning of successive phrases. Means if suppose one or two phrases or lines are added and they are beginning with a single same word, then anaphora is there. Like you can see the starting lines of your poem. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. Here both first and second lines are beginning with the same word some. That's why anaphora is there. The sixth poetic device is personification. Personification gives human qualities to animal or inanimate objects. That means non-living things. Right? If human qualities are given to them, then personification will be there. Like example, fire and ice are capable of destruction. You all know, right? Therefore, the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them mind, which is capable of destroying almost anything. Right? He has presented fire and ice extremely powerful, who can destroy this whole world. Right? Now, the seventh poetic device is enjambment. What is that? When two or more sentences continue without comma, full stop, and semicolon sign, then enjambment is there. Like, see these lines? From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Here you can see after desire there is no line and again the next line started. After desire there is no comma, no full stop, even no semicolon. Right? And directly the next lines is started. That's why here enjambment is there. Now, the last poetic device is antithesis, which is present in the title of this poem. What is antithesis? Antithesis is a poetic device where two opposite ideas are kept side by side. As your heading of the poem says, fire and ice. Here, when we think about fire, we think about something very hot. And when we speak about ice, just chilled thing or something very cold is felt by us. So, that is all about this poem. Hope you all have got help by watching my video. Thank you very much for listening me.